Oh, hey, you're up. Oh, hey, you're up.
Hit that flying pajama or what?
Oh, hey, you're up.
You're
Oh,
gonna
hey,
die.
you're up.
Again
Hit that flying pajama
again.
or what?
Oh, hey,
and
you're
again.
up. Oh, hey, you're up.
Hit that flying pajama or what?
Oh, hey, you're up. Oh, hey, you're up.
Who's Bill Murray?
Oh, hey, you're up. I'm not sure if you remember my name or not. You were pretty wasted last night. I'm Bubbawheat, and you're listening to my podcast, It's Time to Rewind, where we're in the death days of autumn, covering the Happy Death Day movies one loop at a time. Today, we're discussing Tree's third loop in Happy Death Day 2U that starts at 46 minutes and 1 second, with Tree waking up with a smoking afro, and ends at 46 minutes and 41 seconds, with Tree drinking a bottle of drain cleaner. Joining me today is my guest, Brandy, aka the Terrorific Lady. How are you doing today?
I'm doing really good today. Super stoked to talk about a montage.
Yeah, I am looking forward to this. I am, I told you right before we started recording, but these montage segments are always my favorite bits to record in each season because they tend to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, anytime I think of montages, I always think of the 80s. So montages always involve music and people having a good time, but I don't think Tree's like really having much of a good time in this montage.
No, not too much. But before we get started, diving into today's loop, what is your history with the Happy Death Day movies?
I came into them pretty recently. I mean, there were ones that were always in my purview. There were ones that were always in the back of my mind, and I kind of have a strange kind of relationship to any movie that's directed by Christopher Landon. I'm always like, well, is it going to be good? Really? I don't know about this. And then he always surprises me every time. He did it with Happy Death Day. He did it with Happy Death Day to You. He did it with this movie called Drop, which came out this year, and I was just very pleasantly surprised just by that as well. So he's a director that can pull a lot of just like, wow, I didn't expect that moments out of me.
Nice. So let's go ahead and jump into this loop. And this is really we kind of started the montage last week, but this is, really getting into the montage loops. And I think this is a lot of fun, even though, part of me thinks it goes a little bit too cartoony, especially kicking off this one. We get the big, poofy, frizzy hair that's literally smoking.
Yeah, I had to wonder how much hairspray they had to use on her to get her hair to like tease up that big.
Yeah, although I can't get enough of just Tree's little awkward wink that she gives Carter.
Yeah. Wait. Her facial expressions throughout the montage just absolutely sell it. You can tell she's about 50,000% done with everything.
Yeah, and then, we kind of quickly get past that. We get, Carter, coughing from the smoke. And then one thing that I did notice, which, I don't talk about too much just because, it generally doesn't matter to me that much, but I did catch kind of a continuity error. I think you could chalk it up to just the fact of it's being a montage, and so you could argue that they're kind of playing loosey goosey with you know uh, continuity, and maybe not every section of the montage is going linear. It could be jumping back and forth, but I did notice that kind of one of the first cuts we see Tree writing in her notebook, and she's wearing the red striped dress that she was wearing in the last loop. And then it cuts to her wearing this like bright floral print.
Yeah, if it's supposed to be I didn't notice that until you pointed that out. It was supposed to be like in the same span of just like, the entire day, unless she's changing her outfit like multiple times, which I don't know, maybe.
Well,
I
I
mean,
do think there's a little bit of that because I have mentioned it a little bit because this one thing that I do appreciate that they do in the sequel is they really expand Tree's wardrobe. because in the first movie, basically the entire almost like 2/3 of the movie, she's just wearing Carter's shirt with just like a couple different moments, like the kind of the jacket at the end, but kinda 90% of the back half of the movie, she is just wearing Carter's shirt, and now here in the second movie, she gets a lot more outfit changes.
Yeah, yeah. Depending on whether that span, just like of the montage that you're talking about, is maybe just two different days and they just kind of mashed it all together, or whether it actually is a continuity error. That's interesting.
Yeah, and then I kinda I'll bring up a little bit more in, the later weeks, because the after we get the her wearing the floor prints, sitting next to Ryan, taking notes, and we keep seeing the, system or sequence failure, errors, and then we cut to, uh, Tree looking jealously at Carter and Danielle kissing on a bench. Oh,
And I can't remember like what drink she has. Whether it's like I don't remember if it's here that
it's
she's
like
holding the
it's a blue
plushie.
eye yeah, a blue slushy.
Yeah. Okay. Which kind of mirrors what's coming next in that montage. Like she has a blue slushy, and then she ends up in that. She ends up in the grocery store drinking something else that's a little blue.
Yeah, the blue drain cleaner.
Oh
What
God.
do you think about this whole, like, jealousy subplot with Tree being jealous of Carter and Danielle's well, I guess Carter, parallel Carter and parallel Danielle's relationships?
Um, I see it as a normal kind of subplot because she has just I don't know like how long she's been in this parallel universe, but she's not really used to like the whole thing.
Mm.
So in her universe, she's with Carter, and it would be like really just to see he's your boyfriend, but he's not your boyfriend because it's a parallel universe. So it's I see the jealousy as being founded. Even if like later on she learns just like, well, just like okay, this is not really my universe and just I gotta go.
Yeah, personally, I think that the Tree jealousy doesn't work as much for me. I feel like it's kind of a knock on Tree's character growth. I almost feel like going through what she went through in the first movie, she should be kind of past this level of pettiness almost. I mean, I get it and I appreciate what it's trying to do for the story of what the sequel wants to tell, but I personally just I don't know. I don't think it's the right kind of character flaw to introduce in Tree in the second movie.
Yeah, so her character flaw in the first movie was that she was not a very nice person at
Yeah.
all in the first, and then she went through that really gradual character growth where she learned that her actions were hurting other people. But in this movie, the character growth was more along the lines of you can't really live in the past, which is kind of interesting because she's reliving the past just by in this parallel universe, she's reliving the past daily.
Yeah, and this jealousy that they introduce, they don't she doesn't really get over the jealousy because she ends up getting with, this Carter at the very end, and then she goes back to her original universe and gets to be with original Carter. It's almost like she's if you can kind of think about it, it's almost like she's cheating on her Carter with this Carter, and this Carter is cheating on his Danielle with with Tree. It's one of those weird things to think about.
It's a Schrodinger's relationship, I guess. If you can't see it, doesn't really exist.
But I do like, her like you said, her facial expression. I think Jessica Roth just, I her comedy chops and especially like her physical comedy really gets she gets to stretch those limbs in this movie. And I think that aspect of it works for me because not only just like her angrily drinking the Slurpee, but then her going into this grocery store and yet again, we do get, 2 more costume changes because while she's staring at Carter and Danielle, she's wearing, like, a white shirt with, I think, like, cherries, a cherries print, and then whenever she's going into the grocery store, she's got the orange T-shirt and the pink sweatshirt, kinda slumming it, and she's got, like, the slides and the blue fuzzy socks.
Yeah, like, how many times you change it? If it is just all the span of one day, it's like, how many times you change your outfit during the day, girl? Come on.
I mean, it is kinda consistent because, again, going back to the first movie, I did point out in, like, the first, the her first time going through the day, she does have, like, 5 outfits that she wears, and it's not until she's kind of getting into the loop that she stops changing outfits and just wears Carter's shirt all day.
Ah, yeah. Yeah, it would make sense because just like, why am I changing my outfit so much if I'm just gonna be, like, waking up the next day in the same situation? Like, I'm just gonna wear the same T-shirt, same pants.
Well, and
Make it
she is
easy.
a sorority girl too, so
Yeah.
I think that kind of, adds to her still wanting to be fashionable, even though, she's kind of throughout the first movie, she's kinda grown away from the kinda typical sorority girl personality, but she's still a sorority girl at heart.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, we see her picking up the drain cleaner, and I couldn't. I'm not 100% sure about the text because was kind of trying to read what it says on the bottle, but the clip that I have on my computer isn't super clear, and I wasn't able to check out the Blu-ray to see if that had a clearer picture, but it is called Liquid Python Max Drain Cleaner. I believe for some reason at the bottom it says Blackhead, which I don't know. I think that's supposed to be like uh, in relation to the python snake. And kind of at the top, I believe it says makes clogs go history with 3 S's.
I really don't know if there's any kind of, I guess, metaphor or hidden meaning behind the fact that the drain cleaner has a snake on it. I mean, you could go the easy route and just be like, oh well, Tree's personality, just like in the past, like she could be considered like somewhat of snake like personality. But I don't know like really what other hidden metaphors could be behind that. It could just be drain cleaner. I mean, who knows?
Yeah, I
I
got
like
the feeling that it's not, like, super on screen, like, they don't have a super close up on it, I'm just kinda looking at it because, we're just focusing on this specific loop,
yeah,
but
I tend to read too much into things like sometimes just like, ooh, what's the hidden metaphor behind this? Is there any? I don't know.
yeah, I definitely do that sometimes, but I just didn't happen to this time with this specific thing. I I I think it's just, a good, prop designers, having fun with that. And and again, I like this, comedic interaction. We get the, this heavy older guy, just walking past and the interaction with Tree, she gives him the cheers with the train cleaner and then goes bottoms up, and then he, like, freaks out and runs off.
I love like and his like facial reactions sold it too because he's like, oh my god, he like turns and runs in the opposite direction.
So do you think that he's going to, like, go get help, or do you think he's just freaked out and is running off and abandoning his groceries?
Uh, um, you would hope that he would be a kind person and was going to get help, but I think that he's just want to get the heck out of there, probably as any person might want to do in that freaky kind of situation.
Yeah, and I was looking in his cart and, you can't see too much because pretty much all the he's kind of, far off in the screen, and I think most of the labels are facing the other direction, but I was able to recognize that he's got at least 3 cases of Red Bull in his cart
Oh
because
my
that has a very distinctive, box, the blue and gray.
dad, dude, what are you doing drinking all that Red Bull?
And then
Gross.
he's got a bag of chips, which I think are Doritos, but I'm not 100% sure on that one.
Red Bull and Doritos. That seems more of like a college age snack.
And then I do like, we get her dropping the bottle, and do we see her just wearing her like slides and her blue fuzzy socks. So she was really just slumming it in the grocery store. But I also think that, I didn't look it up because I didn't really want to, because I'm not, I can be morbid at times, but I didn't really wanna look up the, what drinking drain cleaner does to the body, but from what I remember, I don't think it's a very good way to go out. I think it's pretty painful. I don't think it would be in my top choice. I almost feel like I'm actually kinda surprised that she never goes with sleeping pills, which I think that's probably just because sleeping pills isn't very cinematic or comedic, and they're really pushing the comedy in this. But I would think that that would be kind of the most gentle way to go out.
Yeah, if I was going to do what she's doing, knowing that I would probably just wake up the next day anyway, I would not be putting myself through all that torture either. But then again, like you said, sleeping pills, like yeah, it wouldn't be like as kind of oh ha ha like cinematic or comedic with what they're trying to sell.
Yeah, usually the sleeping pill overdose is used for dramatic purposes.
Yeah, yeah.
But that's that's the end of this loop, where this is kinda the first, well, the first full loop in the montage, because we did get the the bathtub scene, last week, kind of, in the start of the montage, but this is kind of the first full, bit of the montage. Do you have anything else that you wanted to say about, this loop?
Uh, I do appreciate that this loop or this montage started off with the Paramore song "Hard Times"
Mm,
in the background because the lyrics are very apropos to us. Because it starts off with "Bang, all that I want is to wake up fine. Tell me that I'm all right, that I ain't gonna die." It's like that. It's very on the nose, but it also goes with this montage because it's very like deceptive because the beat it sounds upbeat, but the lyrics are just like kind of like with this montage. It looks
mm.
very upbeat, but underneath it is not.
Yeah. I have a little bit more notes, but I'm saving that for one of the shorter loops. So we will circle back around to Paramore. Uh, but thanks so much for joining me on, for this montage. I'm gonna have you back for, 3 more weeks. So we're just getting started here. But why don't you take a moment and let people know where you can be found online?
You can find me on Instagram and Threads at Terrific Lady. I say it's like terrific, except it's terrific. And you can also find me on YouTube at The Terrific Lady, or you could search up Retro Horror School, which is what I do on YouTube, and you should be able to find me on YouTube in one of those two ways.
Yes, and, not to be confused with, Brandon, who I had on earlier, who is just Terrorific, and he has his Terrorific podcast.
Yeah, it's kind of like like we're in our own just kind of parallel universe there. He's Brandon, I'm Brandy, so we got our own little kind of happy death day kind of thing going on.
And as always, I am Bubbawheat, and you can find me on all social media where I'm at Bubbawheat. I also have a Facebook group. It's Time to Rewind, a time loop group, and you can join that to discuss episodes as they come out and also stay abreast of what I'll be covering in future seasons and just have any sort of discussions and sharing things about any and all time loop media is all welcome there. So until next time.
Now to get your rock bottom.